Hello, 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 my Zoom friends. My name is Elena Anguita, and I am the author of a book called Spread Thanks, Create Miracles Through the Power of Ink. And I'm the founder of a movement of the very same name, Spread Thanks. And it is based on a practice that I have done for over 5 years of writing a thank you note every single day for the last 5 years. And it is a practice as simple as it sounds, but it has so changed everything in my life. I am now, 5 years into this practice. I am happier, I am healthier, I am more joyous, I have more affluence in my life. I have literally manifested a happier existence. And this such profound change. It's been so impactful that I feel the need and almost the responsibility of sharing this with others. Hence my book. And I actually have a workshop, which I was able to do before COVID-19 hit, and I hope to get back to it, but certainly be able to share it through this 21-day gratitude challenge, which you are part of. And thank you so much for being part of it. So appreciate it. And the idea with this practice is to actually add positivity and positive energy into this time of crises where we're all living in a state of fear. And certainly I am every time I turn on the news. So I'm looking to really divert that and put more positive energy into our lives, hence this practice. And so last week we had the kickoff, and we had a couple of technical difficulties. And for those of you who know me, you know that in my day job, I work for educational technology company, but I don't really know how to use technology, which is kind of a joke. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we don't have any technical issues tonight, which I don't think we will. So anyway, and thank you for those of you who are joining. I see that my friend Andrea is here. So when I see your names and it gives me such joy that you are supporting me. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for this. So just to let you know, we are choosing Zoom as the vehicle to deliver these messages because, first of all, it's easy to use. Everybody these days is using Zoom, but it's also something that is easy to share. So you can share it on different, vehicles. You can share it on YouTube or Facebook or other social media channels, because the idea is to really share this message with those that really need it. And so we're also recording it. So should you not be able to join us one evening, don't worry about it. Just hopefully watch it afterwards. And please, please, please share it with your loved ones, with your friends, with colleagues, with people that you think can benefit from this message. So thank you so much for that. So I also would like to make these sessions interactive, because I love the interactivity and I want to hear from you. So feel free to ask questions in the question box, the Q&A box that's below your screen. But also, for those of you that may have started this practice last week, I have a few questions I want to give you and give you some time to think about, and maybe you can give me responses in the chat box, and then we can review them at the end of this session today. So the questions I have for you are, okay, if you did start this practice last week, did you write a thank you note? And how many thank you notes did you write? And how did it make you feel to do so? And I don't know how you were able, whether you mailed it or if you delivered it to somebody, but if you did do that, and you gave it to somebody in person, how did it make you feel? And how did it make that person feel? So I just want you to share with me this whole experience, because it gives me joy to hear how it's going. And I'm here to support you, of course. So, so let's talk about back to the why. Like, why am I proposing we do this? And how could you possibly be positive or grateful at this time when the world is so different and we're going through this pandemic of global proportions? Well, I submit to you that's exactly the time to do that and change our energy. And we talked about last week that there is so much negative news coming at us, but so much positive news at the same time. So we have this negativity and we have this positivity. And it is a choice that we have to choose which one to focus on. And that will dictate our experience of the situation, right? Positive or negative. And so it's a choice that we have. And my friend Kathy this past week gave me a little aha moment because we talked about the fact that it's a choice. And she said, actually, for me, I see it not only as a choice, but also a responsibility to those around me, because she sees her family, she sees her grandchildren, her, other people. So she sees it as responsibility. And I thought, boy, that was a little aha moment for me, that it's not just a choice, but a responsibility. But what if, like me, you live alone, so you don't see many people? Well, I'm here to tell you that it will make you feel better. Not just if you don't have people around you, it will make you feel much better to just kind of focus on the positive and focus on gratitude and be grateful for the things that you do have. So just last week, I'll give you an example. On top of everything else, there were some real climate issues, and there were some, like tornadoes that hit on top of everything else that we're going through, right? So actually, instead of focusing on the negative news that was, I actually felt grateful that I was home, quarantined, and I felt grateful that I had a house that I live in. I was safe. I wasn't traveling. I used to travel out so much with my job, but now I'm home, so I felt grateful for that. So again, it's just a matter of shifting the way you see a situation. Is to focus on the things we can be grateful for. And as you know, many spiritual teachers talk about the fact that it's just a matter of shifting your experience. And Wayne Dyer is one of my favorites, who's sadly passed. But he had this beautiful saying, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's the ability within us, and it's super powerful to be able to do that. So, all right, so hence my attempt to bring this positive energy to you. But why a thank you note? What is the benefit of a thank you note versus other gratitude exercises? Like a gratitude jar, which any expression of gratitude is wonderful. But there's something magical about writing a thank you note, in that it takes a little longer. You're putting pen to paper, and you're focusing on the person who made your life a little easier, or you're focusing on something that you're grateful for. And that will then change you to a more positive attitude. You will feel grateful. You will feel happier. I mean, this is something that happens to me every day. But the other beautiful part about a thank you note is that then when you give it to the recipient, it elevates that person's energy. So it's like a gift that the person receives, so that you have the ability to magnify positivity, right? It's exponential. It's like the wings of a butterfly that cause a typhoon at the other end of the ocean. And I think, again, now more than ever, how beautiful it is to not only make yourself happier, but make other people happier. So I think there's something super magical about it. And so I am here on this journey with you to help you. So I just want to take you through through my practice and my process. And you might have downloaded this 21-day gratitude challenge checklist, and it has, the 3 steps, the simple steps, which is to be present, think of somebody to be grateful, write 1 thank you note a day, and then record what I call the daily miracle, which it is really being able to attract something positive in your day because you are in a state of positivity. And I'm telling you, it works. I'm the total testament of that. And it also has like 3 tips and techniques, like if you're not feeling all that positive that day, what to do. And then it has this wonderful checklist where you can track your thank you note recipients, and again, feel motivated for that. But I want to give you some other techniques this week. So let me give you some tips that I use. I keep a list of people that make me grateful. And it could be a list from my present. So let's talk about, like, in today's, this, pandemic, think about those in the line of duty. Think about people in the medical profession. Think about people in the grocery stores. Think about people who are delivering things. I mean, people are working super hard to bring normalcy to us. But also think about those who may be out of work right now. Think about people in the service industry, maybe your nail technician or somebody in a salon. Think about people who may be out of work right now. They could really use a positive note from you. So definitely make a list of those people. But always, of course, friends and family that for whom you're grateful. Or even if you want to think in the past, think about teachers who were influential. People in your, like I said, cast a wide net and keep a list of people so that if one day you want to write a thank you note, but you're a bit of a loss to who your recipient is going to be, just check that list. That's what I do. I keep a running list. I keep it in a journal or I keep it on a scrap of paper, but if you want to keep it in your phone, in your little note, whatever, do it on your computer, however will make it easy for you to access. So definitely keep a list. Another tip and technique, there are some beautiful things that are happening these days. Like I see nature in Pennsylvania is awakening. So I see like a beautiful budding tree, or I see something that gives me joy, maybe a beautiful sunset. I'm taking pictures of those because it's something I can think back to. I can look back and I can reflect and feel happy, or record your daily miracle. If something special happens to you and you want to take a picture of it, just kind of keep track of all of these things that will put you in a state of positivity, and feel free to refer to them if you're not feeling all that positive in one time. And then another tip I want to give you, I'm going to call it fake it till you make it. If you're not feeling all that grateful, please write the thank you note anyway. And it's, again, fake it till you make it. Yeah, a friend of mine said this to me and it resonated so strongly. Positivity comes with practice. I happen to be a person, I was born positive. I'm positive now, and I will probably die positive. So I'm very blessed to have that happiness that is just part of who I am. But for those who may not feel that way, trust me, practice will make you perfect. So positivity comes with practice. So please, please, please try this. It works, I promise. And also, if you want to read books, there are books on the subject that you can read. Certainly The Secret talks about being able to manifest things through gratitude, the law of attraction, attitudes of gratitude. I mean, there are many books on the subject. And I might, shameless plug, if you want some tips and techniques, feel free to read my book and buy my book. I think it's going to help you for sure through this practice. So those are, that's kind of my message I have for you today. So what I would love to do is maybe check the chat box to see if you might have responded to some of my questions. So Stephanie, maybe you can help me, if you can help me with the chat responses.
Sure, nothing in the chat box yet.
Okay, how about questions?
If you have questions, I sent several thank you notes during the first week. I immediately felt good, positive vibes during the whole process, even after mailing them that day. The positive vibes stood out even more so during these pandemic quarantine times. So not a question, but a great comment.
Yay, thank you so much for that. I actually do see comments in my chat, and it's from Andrea. And she says, as you know, I've been practicing for 2 years. Yes, you have. And people are even more excited to be the recipient of gratitude. Absolutely. Yeah, it has to do with the fact that it's a gift that keeps on giving. And I think it's just so immensely powerful. Any other questions?
Yes, I do have another question. Who did you write your thank you note to today?
Oh, putting me on the spot. I love it. So yes, so let me give you my experience. So the last time I was at the grocery store, and I really want to focus on those that are working these days and are helping us. I was at a in the checkout lane, and my cashier was super, like, she wouldn't even look at me. She seemed very fearful, a little nervous. And I made it a point to say thank you a few times to her. And she did not respond. She seemed a little surly. I don't know. She was just not in a good place. Meanwhile, the cashier on the other checkout lane was so positive, and she's laughing, and she even lifted her mask to be able to talk to somebody and laugh. So it was super positive. Now you would think that I would be more inclined to thank that person for her positivity. I actually today chose to write my thank you note to the negative cashier, because I thought about the fact she probably didn't want to be at work. She, they're now kind of enclosed in this, barrier, and you can't even, I could tell she wasn't comfortable. And I believe that she needed my positivity more than the other one. So that was my thank you note recipient today. So that was a great question. Thank you so much.
Another question.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we do anything different during the second week, or just continue the practice the same as the first week?
Well, it's really up to you. If you find there's something you want to add to the ritual, like I don't know what your routine may be. Maybe it is to write in the morning, maybe in the evening. But if you feel, I'm going to throw this out there, maybe lighting a candle will help. Absolutely add it. But the practice is super simple. It really is. It's those 3 steps that I give you. But if you want to add something, your own spin, feel free to do so. And if you feel that it helps you add more positivity or give you more mindfulness, absolutely, please share it with our community, because we're in this together, and we're here to help one another. So that was a great question, but the answer is, if you feel it's entirely up to you. Awesome. Excellent. Anybody else?
Jennifer left a comment here. I sent a few this week and it felt fantastic. I didn't receive any feedback from the recipients, but it truly didn't matter. I felt so happy that I sent it and it stayed with me.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Yes, absolutely. Yep. My friend Jennifer, who's actually super positive, and we were talking about staying in focusing on the positive. And Jennifer made a beautiful comment that for her, this whole pandemic is allowing people to come together and help one another. Whether we're wearing the masks in Pennsylvania, and I understand in Florida you're not yet, but we are all coming together and helping one another through it. And I thought that was such a beautiful way of looking at this. So Jennifer definitely is helping me focus on the positive. So thank you for that comment as well.
We just received another question. Do you
Sure.
think one is better than the other, morning or evening? Or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, but I'll tell you what I do. So great question. I do it in the morning because I like to set my day, in that I love what it does to my attitude. So I prefer to do it in the morning, but if I'm at a loss in the morning and I focus, I can certainly do it in the evening, and then it makes me recall maybe something special that happened that day. But I like to do it in the morning, but there's no one way to do it. Whatever works for you. I like to do my thank you note in the morning, and my, recording the daily miracle or whatever journaling I want to do in the evening, because that kind of closes the day for me. These are great questions. I love it. I love it. Any other questions?
Mike made a comment that his thank you note was about spring coming to New York.
Yes. Yes. Spring is finally coming. So it must be Mike Pell. So thank you so much for joining, Mike. Yes, and spring is finally coming to Scranton, Pennsylvania. Although the wind was howling just a little while ago, so we didn't feel like it. I think I saw some snowflakes. So we're struggling, but spring is finally going to come, I think, for sure. Well, thank you all for your beautiful comments, for your wonderful questions, and for joining me tonight. It's such a joy. I heard this little inspirational thing the other day, and I want to share this with you. But I want to say, you are better than your best excuse. So I urge you to continue this practice. I urge you to stay in this community and to help me spread the word now more than ever. So thank you all so much, and hope to see you and talk to you next week. Bye-bye, with love and gratitude. Take care. Bye now.